So, freedom to choose. And people say, you're anti-choice. I say, I'm not anti-choice at all. I mean, I'm all for, do you want to choose Mexican food, Chinese food? Do you want where are you going to live? I think you even have the freedom to sin. I'm not in favor of sin, but can somebody privately look at pornography and it's a sin? But do I think they have the right to do it? Yes, I do. But we all believe in a civilized society that some choices are not right. And when they, not just are not right, because that's true of other choices, but when they take away the rights of others and inflict harm on innocent people, don't we all recognize, doesn't every, quote, pro-choice person recognize that? I one time spoke at a college where I knew most of my audience was, quote, pro-choice. And I was introduced as the pro-life speaker, and of course, then there's booze and all of that. I say, well, I just want to clarify something for the beginning. I am pro-choice. I believe that a person has the right to do whatever they want with their own body, and none of those religious bigots have the right to tell us what to do with our body. Cheers erupted, and they say, well, they must have misunderstood. I'm clearly not the pro-life person. And then I looked at them, as I did in several situations like this, and that's why I defend a man's right to rape a woman. Because after all, it's his body, and he should be able to do whatever he wants with his body. And then there's like, of course there's that reaction. Now, do I believe that? Of course I don't. All I'm telling them is, it's his body, he has the right to do. And then I'll say, I said in that situation, wait, why are you all upset and groaning and shocked now, but you weren't before? Well, it's because you recognize that no one has the right to harm another person, and rape is obviously harming another person. So he says, so clearly you agree with me that you are not pro-choice. You have to define our choices. What choices are we talking about? So pro-choice about this, that, and that, but not pro-choice about kidnapping, about sexual abuse, about killing, murder. We're not pro-choice about those things. So stop asking, I'm pro-choice, as if you're pro-choice about everything, because you're not. That would be horrifically immoral if you were pro-choice about everything. So, of course, people have the freedom to choose. That doesn't mean they have the right to choose. It doesn't mean that whatever they choose is right. And that's where we just have to address that logic. When somebody says, I'm personally against abortion, but I still think others have the right to choose, they think they're taking the moral high ground. Wait a minute. Why are you personally against it? And isn't the only good reason to be against abortion a reason that would dictate that you would be against other people having an abortion? Because if it doesn't take a human life, then what's the big deal? And I'm told this often, where somebody will say, well, it's just, a woman has an abortion, she's just removing a body part, and that's all there is. And I say, well, you know what? There are thousands and thousands of support groups of women emotionally devastated. And I have friends that teach these. I have a good friend, the girl that grew up in our home and had the abortions and placed the child for adoption. She goes into prisons and leads Bible studies to win women to Christ, but they're post-abortion Bible studies. They're restoration, heart program type things. And when she goes in and she hears all of these stories, well what I say is, when somebody has their tonsils out, are they part of a recovery group for people who had their tonsils out? But what about your appendix? You've had your appendix out, and I'm in a great post-appendectomy support group. And they've been and then yearly on the anniversary of your tonsillectomy, Do you have depression and thoughts of suicide? No. Why? Because there's a fundamental difference, because this is a child. So let's stop denying it. Let's embrace it. Let's admit it.